Quran, right? Tell me when to start. It's already. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Start. طيب الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Inshallah won't be too long, inshallah. This is just to introduce the second phase of the program that we had just finished last month, the one-year program. And at the same time, for those who were not with us, they can also start with this one. But it's supposed to be a second level with what we already have started. And the first level, inshallah ta'ala, will be introduced within a month or two, inshallah, to redo it again. But this time will be 2 years. But we'll talk about that, inshallah ta'ala, later. So this is supposed to be the next or the second stage in learning. And this is what we're talking about, inshallah ta'ala. That's supposed to start Saturday, inshallah, the beginning of November. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward the ones that made the PowerPoint. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward them, inshallah. The statement that we always need to be reminded of, and the virtues of knowledge, is something that is the evidence of it in the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ are so many. And it's something that we need to always remind ourselves. And with the book of Musnad al-Imam al-Darimi and others that we're talking about, this is something that a person, if he finds himself in such a position, that means they should not waste their life, but rather they should seek the knowledge of the deen of Allah, to have the fear of Allah. And we are in need of this. Unless we understand this and we're upon it, that means maybe this is not the right place to be in. As the statement of Imam Ahmad rahimahullah, that people are more in need of knowledge than food and drink. For food and drink are needed once or twice a day, but knowledge is needed at all times. And this is not words of exaggeration. This is from the words of those who comprehended the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, because without knowledge, that means it's ignorance. And without knowledge, how would a person know how to worship Allah, to believe in Allah? What's halal, what's haram? And the same thing with conveying that to others too. So therefore, to be patient and to be dedicated and to be determined to occupy our time with ilm. And the knowledge is in such a way that, as some of the early generations of Islam, they say, if you give the knowledge all of your life, it will give you just some of it. Right? So imagine if you give some, you won't get anything. So that means we need to do the best we can when it comes to seek knowledge. And with all of this and the ease that we're having here, this is easy and we should, be at ease with it, inshallah ta'ala, even though this is, we're not really doing what the early generations of Islam they did and the stories and the biographies of them. This is a must that anyone that seeks knowledge should learn how much struggle and patience and suffering they went through to preserve the deen, to study the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm not sure this one is not coming. But anyway, when it comes to this program, inshallah ta'ala, there is, it's going to, as it's going to show, inshallah ta'ala, the books that we'll go through. It's basically, we want to take ourselves to the next stage, assuming that people had taken some Arabic, and one of which is this intensive course that we did in the summer. So it's not something that is, I'm not sure, but it's okay, inshallah. It's not coming up. But anyway, so it's one of the things that we need to observe, inshallah, that the way that this will be taught, there will be emphasis on the Arabic language with English. Originally, it was supposed to be that we already reached a stage where we only do things in Arabic, only in Arabic. But it's okay, we'll keep it to the third stage, inshallah. So this stage, inshallah ta'ala, we have books, as it's going to be mentioned later, inshallah, very specific books, and they are of a second level of books of knowledge. We'll go through the matn, or the original words of the book that has an explanation with it, word by word in Arabic, and the mutun will be memorized, inshallah, for those who want to seriously take that path, which is, as you see here, there's 2 levels. Anyone can attend, inshallah ta'ala, anyone can listen. And this is for the, as you see, the first level or the first track. Those who would attend the lectures, it's not going to be only for those who want to take the advanced track, but anyone can listen. And as you see, attend lectures live if possible and stay up to date with course content. Assessments, both written and memorization, are optional. Optional meaning we're not going to go after people, kicking them out and things like this. No, I mean, it's up to you if you want to listen. And hopefully, inshallah ta'ala, will be benefiting. We're not too much worried about certifications and things like this, but it's just a way to make sure that the knowledge is being passed on in the proper way. So for those who want to just listen, then this is something that they can do on their own, and inshallah ta'ala, hopefully will be benefiting. For the other track, which is supposed to be the advanced one, then attendance is mandatory. There's going to be attendance will be taken with codes in every class. So you have to attend. That means there has to be some level of dedication here because we're going through the books. It's not going to a person just saying things. But our objective is the books that will come, inshallah ta'ala, in the next slide or so, that we will go through the books. So at the end of the course, inshallah ta'ala, you have studied the book from the beginning to the end and comprehend it, and making sure, hopefully, inshallah ta'ala, that you understand it and memorize the matn of it, which is definitely what is the objective. It's not just words of an individual. So the work that has to be done like this, and therefore there will be exams, whether it's bi-weekly or how things will be, inshallah ta'ala, and the memorization. In the first level, last year, we were going through memorization of Quran and Hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Here will be more of the mutun, and with it, some of the hadith, as I will explain in the books to come, inshallah. So there will be memorization, and the students that complete all the coursework and exams will receive certification. Anyway, the subject of the tuition fee, which is the subject that I don't like to mention here, I'm always told that unless we do this, people don't take things seriously, which is a sad reality. We shouldn't. A student of knowledge should not have to be doing something so that he's dedicated in studying the deen. But there is expenses, of course, and these things will be mainly to the masjid, inshallah. So all of it to the masjid is not for any personal benefit that goes directly to anyone. it's going to the masjid, and of course with the expenses of things. So if people would take this, and of course if someone did not pay, then it's fine, inshallah, as long as there is dedication when it comes to the memorization and so on. So this is the part of here, and again, this is, as it says here, this course is for everyone, whether young or old, advanced or just beginning, living in the east or the west. This is a rare opportunity. It's not rare or anything. Of course, there's many opportunities, and the ilm is in abundance, inshallah ta'ala. It's just a way to try to make ourselves benefit, inshallah. But when it comes to everyone, but with the condition, as we see, some people, they might find it difficult if they don't have some basics of Arabic. So therefore, either that you have an idea of some of the Arabic language, or you go through the intensive course that we did in the summer, or something of that nature. Some things might be mentioned with the Arabic language that might be difficult, especially with word by word in studying the class. So there's attendance, there's memorization of the text and knowledge implementation. And this is one of the things that we lack as a result of the study from a distance. Because nothing is like the studying in the masjid, to attend in the masjid and to have the hearts humbled. And this is the way of the early generations of Islam, because actions is the objective of all of this, and that our life would change, and that we follow the way of the Prophet ﷺ. But when it comes from a distance, then a person can be easily distracted. It's not the same environment. But alhamdulillah, as the ulama, they say, if this is the only way, then it's better than nothing, and therefore more work needs to be done on oneself, on one's heart, on one's actions. And this is something that we have to be always reminded of, and one's ibadah, and one's worship of Allah, and things like this. And therefore, with the ease of that and self-study and review, so we will try, inshallah ta'ala, to have both of the benefits of the ease of communication, plus the importance of having a one-to-one relationship. And that's why we want to make sure that everyone understands every word that is being said, and to develop, especially for the brothers, this relationship in which people will interact, not just in the classroom. I'm not talking about interaction in the class, but outside of the classroom. That means to make sure that everything is implemented right, as the way of the Prophet ﷺ and the early generations of Islam. When it comes to the books, the specific books or the major books that we will go through, inshallah ta'ala, in the schedule, in Aqidah we'll go through the book of Ma'arij al-Qabul. Ma'arij al-Qabul is a description of a matn by the same author, which is called Sullam al-Wusul. And the author is someone that we're familiar with, which is the book of 200 questions and answers in Aqidah that we took in the first year. Al-Hafidh al-Hakami, rahimahullah. And this book, as the ulama, they say, is one of the most comprehensive books in adillah and evidences when it comes to Aqidah. When it comes to the sharh, the Ma'arij al-Qabul. So you have Sullam al-Wusul, which is, I don't have a pointer, but this is right there, is the mat. It's poetry. Lines, it's like a ujuza, very simple, light poetry. This has to be memorized. Right? So every session we take few lines, and then to memorize them, we'll go through word by word of what every word in these lines of poetry meant, and we'll go through the description or the explanation, which is Ma'arij al-Qabul. It's all in the same book, and we have links, inshallah ta'ala, for the PDFs. And from the Sharh, it's one of the most comprehensive books that talks about evidences. You find many evidences in ayat of the Quran, hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. Attending the classes will point out an evidence or two or something that has to be also memorized with regards to the matter or the mas'ala of aqidah that we're going through. So this is something that will be every class will point out something that needs to be studied. So this is with al-aqidah and with the book of Ma'arij al-Qabul. In fiqh, we'll go from the beginning also, inshallah ta'ala, all the way to the end. The matn to be memorized is Zad al-Mustaqni', right? And the sharh of it is also from Imam al-Buhuti, which is one of the established mutun, al-Rawd al-Murbi', and this is in madhab Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal rahimahullah. So it's Hanbali madhab, fiqh, book of fiqh. This is what we're going to go through, inshallah ta'ala. And to enhance ourselves in studying, since these books and the ones that also comes afterwards, they have been served well, especially with the contemporary scholars. So we might be referred to a lecture, for example, by Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen, for example, for you to listen to, right? That means we will take also the ikhtiyarat or some of the opinions of the contemporary scholars that they took, even though they follow the principles of the madhab, but this is the way that they would choose certain things according to the dalil, the evidences of the Quran and the Sunnah, but we're not into the level of ourselves to extract, right? So this is the level of studying the masail. Last year we covered the book of Al-Fiqh al-Muyassar and some of the matters of mu'amalat, just to understand and to comprehend the masail. Here we'll do a little bit more, inshallah ta'ala, also took more masail in it, more matters of fiqh, and more explanation and more evidences. So it's a second level type of a thing. Zad al-Mustaqni' inshallah will be memorized, which is the matn. And al-Sharh Rawd al-Murbi' we're not going to memorize it inshallah. And as you see the times here and you can have the schedule inshallah ta'ala, easy inshallah. The third subject which with the tafsir of Surah Al-An'am from the tafsir of Imam Sa'di rahimahullah, like what we did from Hizb al-Mufassal in the year past. But this time is Surah Al-An'am only, inshallah ta'ala. Surah Al-An'am is with all the different rulings in it. In the Arabic language, we'll go through the book of At-Tuhfa As-Saniyya in explanation of Al-Ajr Rumiyya. So it's also easy and simple. And I did know that there was an English translation to it till today. So the PDF for it will be there. And that's going to be only once a week. But sometimes things changes. So that's why we need to have that. It's part of being dedicated is that you're always watchful of how we do things. So sometimes things will change, time differences, travel issues, things of that nature, inshallah. So these are the main 4 books, but they're not the only books. And this is going to be another year, inshallah, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will. This is not the only books. For the 2 years, which is going to start, inshallah ta'ala, soon, inshallah, there are subjects like Ulum al-Quran, Seerah, so that we're supposed to also, add some of these subjects throughout the year, inshallah. Something in the sciences of the Quran, some in the Seerah, some in the Mustalah al-Hadith, and something in also the purification of the soul. It's going to be there also within the year, inshallah ta'ala, as part of what's mandatory that we need to be upon, inshallah. So this is mainly in the Google Classroom. You have it's present all the PDFs, and if you want to have a PDF, or you can buy the hard copy, but not of course from from any place that you would want to buy it from. And again, the books are to be studied in the classical way. So we'll go through word by word with the mutun and the explanation also, but not going to be word by word for the explanations. As far as the logistics of the class, which is not my expertise, the brothers, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward them. And they're doing, mashallah, a great job. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy, inshallah. So there is the Google Classroom, and there's going to be accounts and things like this. So these things, this is part of the things that we need to be serious. And that's why, inshallah ta'ala, as always, when you have the like of these courses, people get excited in the beginning and then they drop after some time. We should be encouraged to do something serious, inshallah, and not to ignore these matters, or it's difficult, then a person leave it. We need to, I don't know how to explain. The more when we read the early generations and their stories and the lack of food even for the sake of studying, and we see how spoiled we are. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. So we should seek help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be upon what we need to be upon, inshallah. So the slide that I missed here, which is understanding the mandatory knowledge. So we're still in the level. And that's why there are kind of 4 levels that we're hoping, inshallah ta'ala, to achieve. The first one is the principles. and then we go to building. This is kind of the level of building the matters of knowledge, and then we go to the level afterwards, inshallah ta'ala, making ta'sil, to establish, to make the knowledge well established, and then, and Allah knows best how long these stages will take, but then after that is al-rusukh, or to be well established in matters of deen. The issue of contemporary issues, we're not going to be given talks about what's happening contemporarily and why don't you talk about this. No, this is not what we're going to do, inshallah. We're just going to stick, inshallah, to these matters of ilm and these books of ilm. If may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forbid, if everything is happening around us, we're still going to be going through this, inshallah. So in the sessions, don't ask, aren't you going to say something about what's happening this place or that place? No, there's no such a thing. We're studying the matters of ilm that we need to study and need to be concerned. And this is how to change our situation, by being sincere in learning these types of things, inshallah ta'ala. But contemporary issue, meaning with matters of these masail. Like if we talk about mu'amalat, for example, transactions, that may be something that is related to our daily dealings with wealth and things like this. And of course, part of that is that there will be lots of Arabic being mentioned, so it takes us to the next stage, inshallah ta'ala, which is supposed to be that one, but we'll take it to the next level, inshallah ta'ala, where it's only Arabic, inshallah ta'ala, by the will of Allah. Here, I will just go through it quickly. Classes will be live and online. So it will be live, inshallah ta'ala, whenever it's feasible, inshallah, and also at the same time online. And it will be in the masjid here, or it's going to be online if I'm not present. And there will be places, of course, for brothers and sisters, and all classes will be streamed via Zoom. The Google Classroom is very important, inshallah, to know everything and all the homeworks and the assignments and the tests and things like this and the grades. And as it says here, you will be receiving a link to register for the Google Classroom in your email. Please make sure you register in Google Classroom, as that will be our primary mechanism for managing course content and communications. And then, of course, this is where some of the expenses comes in place. So make sure, again, that you're doing that so that things are done in the right way. There will be recordings, inshallah ta'ala, and it will be posted in the Google Classroom. But one of the setbacks of recordings is that sometimes the live session, a person, I'll listen in the recording. We should not have this attitude, but rather do the best we can, inshallah ta'ala, to be attentive to the live classrooms, unless a person is not able to. And there's the communication through the WhatsApp groups, as it's always been the case. Here is the bi-weekly quizzes, the easy quizzes that we always have, inshallah. And then there's homework only for Arabic, or anything. It doesn't have to be only for Arabic, but just to be prepared for that. Inshallah, we'll be recognizing that people also have other things to do in their life. So we'll accommodate that, inshallah ta'ala. And then there's the memorization tests and the midterm and final exams. Some of the important dates here: we start, inshallah ta'ala, November 1st. This is the first day of the class. That means Fajr of November 1st, we'll have the tafsir, inshallah. With the Al-Ajrumiyya, which is once a week, might not start this Saturday. So, but the Fajr of Saturday, inshallah ta'ala, will be the beginning, and this will be the tafsir. We'll not have classes, inshallah ta'ala, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give us life in Ramadan and Eid al-Fitr, and these are also from May 20 to 25. This is the midterm. May 25th to June 15th or 14th, this is Eid al-Adha and Hajj and the like of that. And then last week of classes will be mid to late October, so it's 1 year tentatively, inshallah, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will. So this is, again, in brief, what's going to be in the next session or the next phase. But I want to stress the fact that it's going through the books, inshallah. So the book is the main thing. And to make sure that we will, inshallah, study every word of it, to make sure that you understand what we need to know, inshallah. For questions and answers, I'm not sure about the answers, but if you have questions, ask. And if it's something that is logistics and things like this, I might have Mother Tamer to to help us, inshallah. I think you want to say something, inshallah? Oh, طيب. So if you have the questions, right? Do you have any questions? So- Right. How much the studying and how much should we spend for each class? For the memorization, this is one thing. And studying also with the evidences, inshallah. Yeah, it depends, it's different from one person to the other. But maybe 1 hour a day would be sufficient, inshallah. And every day we have tafsir, and whether it's fiqh or aqidah. So if 1-2 hours a day, hopefully, inshallah ta'ala, that will be sufficient, inshallah. And understanding is such an important thing, and that's why being attentive into the sessions, making sure that every word is understood, not just the main subject, no, the word, every word. This is one of the things where the mutun, when it's being studied, they make sure that even the dabt, every tashkil of every word is in the right, it's being recited right, you're able to recite it right, and of course understand it in the correct way. So this is the most important thing, inshallah ta'ala, with the med, and then the sharh comes with it, inshallah ta'ala, with the evidences, inshallah. Anything else? Yeah. Anything online? Questions? Oh, mashallah, jazakumullah khair. But anything that anybody wants to benefit here, maybe with the. So whoever registered, right? There was no issues with the registration or no. And if you and this is if you feel like you're overwhelmed or you're not going to be able to continue, talk to me, inshallah. Let's see what's the reason for it, what can be done, so that also we can, doesn't have to be either the highest level of things or nothing whatsoever. Still, we can do something, inshallah ta'ala, so that we are consistent in seeking knowledge, inshallah. طيب, mashallah. That's easy. Barakallahu feekum. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all sincerity and accept our deeds, inshallah, and to make us among those who are their intentions is much bigger than their actions, inshallah. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على محمد وصحبه وسلم سبحانك اللهم ربنا وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك.